Do not attempt to adjust your dial. Ba-da-bum-bum-bum. It's your boy Big Vern. This is App Stupid, the fastest growing sports and entertainment show on these YouTube streets. You're welcome. Holla. It's your boy Big Vern. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we do here. We don't make it any kind of mystery. So, the first segment we were talking about, weak ass Kevin Durant, he got traded to the Houston Rockets. The Houston Rockets, my goodness. Yeah, Jesus Christ. They got gutted. They got gypped. No way around that. They got gypped for one of the most mentally weak, always hurt, late 35-year-olds who hasn't played anything close to 82 games in a season since 2013, 2014. How can you justify trading young guys, scorers, and defensive guys for a guy who doesn't play any defense at all? And all he does is shoot. Wow. Anyway, from the world of the association, we now pivot and talk some hip-hop news. And Fat Joe, the lawsuit that was. Now, I do caution my listeners because this is one of the most disgusting criminal complaints that's out there so far. We'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb and nail because it's costing him 20 millions. 20 millions. Talk about that when we get on the other side of the content. It's your boy Big Vern. Give me a beat. It's your boy Big Vern coming to you from the App Stupid Studios with a new rap album we promoting this month. Nick Grant, I Took It Personal. In stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it's Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the LP is Let It Rain, Read Your Contract, Big Timers, The Ritual, Back Home, Product Dealer, User. Man, that song right there, that's one of them ones. I was listening to it like, who the hell is Nick Grant? Homie got bars, homie got metaphors, deliveries, double entendres. Yo, what you looking for? He got it. Something to say, that's another good one. And it ain't personal. Yeah, Nick Grant is playing no games. I Took It Personal by Nick Grant. In stores now. Yo, shout out to Nick Grant. I really dug the project. I thought it was hot. So, that's why we pitched it. So now we go ahead and we talk about Fat Joe. No, say it ain't so, Fat Joe. What's going on with Joey Crack? Fat Joe's being sued for $20 million by a former hypeman in an explosive complaint alleging that the rapper engaged in sex acts with minors, oh my God, and coerced him into more than 4,000 sexual acts to maintain his standing. What the hell? I don't know where you go with any of this. I can tell you that I did not think rap was a zest fest, but yeah, apparently there's a lot of ridiculousness going on in that genre. However, hip hop totally different. I love hip hop. Rap, y'all looking shaky, baby. Dixon, that's the guy's name. He's alleging that his former boss, whose real name is, I won't give that out because pretty much I'm not going to get down into that, engaged in coercive labor exploitation, financial fraud, sexual manipulation, violent intimidation, and psychological coercion. The complaint, filed in the Southern District of New York, details many disturbing claims that Fat Joe alleged had sexual relations with women, including minors. Dixon states that the complaint, Fat Joe forced him into humiliating situations, including sex acts performed under duress and surveillance, accompanied by threats of abandonment in foreign countries if he refused compliance. Wow, let that sink in. So your boss is forcing you to do sexual acts against, I don't know who, because he didn't say, are these going to be men, women, or whatever's going on? And then he would videotape it. I don't know if this is Puffy 2.0. My goodness. And then if you didn't do what he asked you to do, Fat Joe is leaving you in another country. And then you're a hype man, so I don't know how you get paid. Do you get paid per show? I don't know if you get paid an entourage or a salary. How do you get back home? Because nobody really knows you. They know him because of, he's always out in front. He's talking about lean back and all of this other craziness. However, how do you get home if you don't perform these sex acts? That's not funny. That's not funny. Dixon personally witnessed Fat Joe engage in sexual relations with children, oh my God, who were 15, 16 years old, and lists 3 such Jane Does, including 16-year-old Dominican girl in New York, who in exchange for cash and clothing and payment of her cell phone bill would perform, I'm not going to talk about that sex act, and other sex acts on the rapper. Wow. Fat Joe has instantly, and again, this is all out of the criminal complaint. This is not me. I'm just reading the complaint and what's out there. But this Dixon character, if he's got receipts, then wait a minute. If he's got receipts, then whew, this is bad. This is beyond bad. This is beyond bad. And if you're a Fat Joe fan, where do you go from here? If you're with the Turn Squad and you out here with, because even Cuban Links, everybody who's done business with Fat Joe to some degree has fell out with Fat Joe. I don't know what that's all about. But if you're of the people who are in the Fat Joe camp and you like his music, well, where do you go with that? Because I'll be real, his last LP was bad. It had no musical value whatsoever. And that's, I guess, when he decided to go on his tirade against FBAs. And then this comes out on you. Oh, yeah, you looking shaky, baby. You looking shaky. Man, give me an album, man. Get me out of here. Give me an album. I got to wash my hands after reading this. It's your boy, Big Vern. It's not just hip-hop. It's R&B. It's your boy, Big Vern. We pumping a new album this month. Leon Thomas, Mutt Deluxe. In stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is Dancing with Demons, Vibes Don't Lie, Lucid Dreams. That's a real record right there, yo. We all had shorties like that in our life. Yes, it is. A wild one, too. That's one of those get in trouble records. For real, for real. That's one of them get in trouble records. Party Favors with Big Sean and Hard To. Not Fair. Lord, I plead the fifth right there. Listen, go get the album. Leon Thomas, Mutt Deluxe, Heal. In stores now. Yo, Leon Thomas, shout out to him. Mutt Deluxe, Heal. Like I say, it's a good LP. I dug it. You know what I'm saying? Something slow. However, getting back to the content, when we last left off, we were talking about Fat Joe being the absolute devil. This ain't funny, man. I'm just reading from the complaint. Now, Dixon, he alleges that Minor Doe 2 is Caucasian female and not a United States citizen. Oh my goodness. Immigration? Yeah, Joe began having a sexual relationship with Minor Doe 2 when she was 15 years old after a concert overseas. Oh my God. Defendant flew Minor Doe 2 to New York City and Miami, Florida, and multiple occasions due to Minor 2's body being adolescent and not fully formed. Defendant, which would be Joe, paid for her to get a Brazilian butt lift. Oh my God. Minor Doe 2 eventually left defendant and is now married to a professional athlete. Now, this is beyond disturbing. Because if this is true, and this is Dixon giving his firsthand account of what's going on, this is Dixon telling you that if he didn't perform these sex acts that were videotaped by Joe, Fat Joe, allegedly, this is all in the complaint. If he didn't perform these sex acts on these people, men, women, I don't know what he had to do. I just don't know how far this thing goes. But he would get left in another country. Not only that, but he's flying minors in, according to Dixon, he's flying minors in to the States to New York City, down to Miami, and he's paying phone bills and giving up clothing. And I mean, this is beyond repulsive. This is repugnant. This person should be excoriated. And if this is true, there's not a jail you can't lock him under if this is true. I don't know. That's why I'm just reading from the complaint. Minor Doe 3 is a Latina female who met the defendant when she was 15 years old. My God. Turning 16. Now, according to Dixon, the defendant was in love with Minor Doe 3. He even contemplated leaving his wife. The defendant paid all Minor Doe 3's bills and even took her overseas to his tour stops. He brought her to Florida and would put her up in a condo he rented a few blocks away from the house he had with him and his wife. Oh my God. I can understand people having hard feelings when you have a boss that was a jerk to you and then you leaving said boss. I've never once alleged to have had being done dirty by a boss and then trying to put different kind of labels on people. This is horrendous. And I don't know why you would say these things. And then not only would you say this, you put this in the public discord. And now, just the implications alone is just crazy. Oh my goodness. For whatever you think of Puffy, if he did any of what Fat Joe is accused of doing, if he did any of this, oh my goodness. I don't know where you go. In a recorded conversation, Minor Doe 3, oh my God, there's a recording now. Oh my goodness. Minor Doe 3 and her 15-year-old cousin describe in detail the plaintiff, how inappropriate it was for her defendant, for the defendant, that being Joe, who was in his late 30s at the time, to be fawning over children. Wow. But wait, there's more. Guess who else is in the lawsuit? Yeah, it's Hove. It's Hove. Rock. We'll get back to that and that little bitty tidbit when we get back. It's your boy Big Burn. It's your boy Big Burn coming to you live from the App Stupid Studios, pushing another rap album this month. Fine Dining, Dave East and Young Chris. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is Pablo and Gunna. Yeah, that's crazy. We won't stop. Get that money. Get that money's one of them ones. That's one of them ones. Kiss the Sky with Ransom. I'm talking Dave East is in his bag. And Lil Chris ain't bad either. Like I say, it's one of them albums you can just put there and then just listen to it, and the flows is dope. The beats is nice. Like I say, it gets you into a whole new bag. Fine Dining by Dave East and Chris Young. In stores now. Yo, shout out to Dave East, Chris Young, Fine Dining. I thought the album was hot. Of course, that's why we pushing it. It's your boy Big Burn. So, when we last left off on the content, we was asking about who else is in this lawsuit, because there's some pretty damning things that came out on Fat Joe. And apparently his hype man, he's got firsthand witness accounts. Now we got recordings, but also Jay-Z is in this lawsuit as well. Yep, Roc Nation, the company which represents Fat Joe, knowingly participated in concealing, transferring, and manipulating Dixon's authorship rights and royalties interests, and sought to intimidate, harass, and obstruct the hype man's legitimate claims against Fat Joe, Torres, and Just. Now, when you get into the rap game, or you get into anything where you're making royalties, you're making it off of your own written penmanship or your contributions to a track. So what it looks like is that Dixon was trying to get compensated for making his contributions to some of Fat Joe's albums, and Jay-Z and Roc Nation, they went to conceal, manipulate, hide this guy's royalties. And then when that didn't happen, he's saying that he was harassed and threatened and intimidated. And why would they be doing this? Young Hova is out here robbing cats. See, Jay-Z's con game is say less and appear to be smart, but behind the scenes, screw people over and set people up. Allegedly. Now, according to the lawsuit, the defendants engaged in deliberate tax fraud schemes, oh my God, in an effort to conceal their extensive wage theft, artificially inflated Dixon's tax liabilities, expose him to unwarranted tax audits and penalties, and systematically obscure the exploited labor. Now, I don't know if this is true about Jay-Z, but Jay-Z is alleged to have a whole bunch of hands in when people get done dirty in the music industry. And again, because he barely speaks, you don't see him, and then people have this whole, this aura about Jay-Z. And I'm like, who is he? He hasn't sold more records than Juvenile or Lil Wayne put together. I don't know what people have this affinity for, or, oh, Jay-Z is cool. You can't put his name on anything and it sells. There's only a limited a group of people who even drink whatever champagne he was promoting. Then they would float this ridiculous conversation. Would you rather get $1 million or would you have a conversation with Jay-Z? I would never talk to Jay-Z. Talk to him about what? Talk to him about what? You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. What do you want to talk about, champ? The corny videos of you playing Monopoly with real money? Grown ass dudes playing Monopoly with real money. That was corny. What are you gonna have a conversation with him about? Women's fashion? Talking slick? He was in one rap battle beef, and that was with Nas, and it ended his career. I don't care what you say. When Benny Siegel says they were going to every radio station giving DJs 50 grand not to play Ether, then pretty much that tells you who won. So I would never want to talk to Jay-Z about anything. However, he is implicated in this lawsuit. And I don't know where you go with any of this. Number one, that's already a bad luck if you're trying to rip artists off. Because remember, this guy and his whole pitch to title was that, oh, the artist and everything will be able to go ahead and get their royalties and their just due desserts. And then you turn around and rob said artist. Allegedly. But the whole Fat Joe thing, oh my goodness. If they have recordings and they get some of these Jane Does to go ahead and testify under oath, this could be very problematic for Fat Joe. I'm not saying he's guilty. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just reporting what's in the criminal complaint. And then I'll put it out for you all to discuss. So you all know the drill. Again, if you are listening to this pod, get in the comments. Let us know that we get it right. What did we leave out? This is Big Vern. We talk back. We'll be back. Top of the hour. This is your boy Big Vern at App Stupid.